Hi, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And this is geekeryTV,
the channel where we talk about the stuff that we geek out about.
And today we are going to have a current edition of... You're not going to sing the song?
Redbox Roulette, Redbox Roulette, yeah.
Netflix edition.
Yeah.
We watched the movie. I'm gonna try not to butcher it. Okja
or Okja?
I think it's Okja, like the tree.
Okja.
That is a Netflix exclusive.
It was so good.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Tons of heart and secret meanings and things like that. Tilda Swinton's in it, and she was
amazing.
Of course, fantastic. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. He was stupid funny.
It was kind of hilarious how bad he was.
Right, because he was supposed to be just like I think it was supposed to be a caricature of like Jackhead.
He was awesome. It was best.
Cats. What was your
cat?
What was your impression?
It made me really sad. It's just, if you don't know anything about it, it's basically a metaphor for, it's not a metaphor, it's about consumerism and how we as people demand so much from our food. So it's like mass producing and growth hormones and nothing to do with like it needs to be free range and it could be harvested differently. It's just, it kind of really sat with me in a bad way, but I really liked it and I want to own it.
It is definitely about consumerism and people in developed countries, especially because the movie starts out with Tilda Swinton's character going in front of a board and saying, look, hey, we've got this new special
super pig
and we have 26 of them that we have found and naturally mated. So what we're going to do is we're going to send them to 26 different farms around the world, let them live for 10 years, and let those people use their
technique.
Yeah, their farming techniques to see
who has like the best farming technique when it comes to animals. And
to see who has the healthiest and largest
pig.
They're not really pigs.
They're like,
but
I
understand what they're saying with it being a pig. Like, that's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
And Okja is one of the pigs in South Korea. Raised totally free range, running around in the mountains, jumping in waterfalls, and it gets huge. And it's so much of the movie is about this friendship
between
and trust
Okja and Misha, who is the little girl who raised Okja for 10 years.
Right. And about their bond, because he wasn't, to her, he was never going to be something that was eaten.
She didn't know.
He was always just going to be her pet. And this is why you don't name the animals you eat, because then you get attached.
If you know that you're going to kill them, Mooey made the best hamburger I've ever had in my life. And I bottle fed that cow.
Like, it just, you shouldn't do it, because then you get attached and then it's like, oh no, I don't want to kill it. I don't want to eat it, even though it's going to be freaking delicious.
Like, I would be the first to be like, that is why animals have been put on this planet. Cows, pigs, chicken, they've been put on this planet to feed us. You're a vegan.
I would say I don't want to hear any vegan crap.
Sorry.
I mean, I respect your choice, but
I like a rack of ribs.
I love nuggets.
She loves organs.
Like, that's
Anyways,
period.
like, I am totally one of those people that's like, that's why they were put on this earth. I know that. Well, we know that.
Right.
That's how we were raised, though. So
I did my vegetarian thing.
yeah, we did it. It was
Just wasn't for me.
yeah. So for me as a person who is like, I don't really care, watched this film and I cried at the end like a blubbering baby.
It was emotional to watch.
Because it's just like, it totally speaks to the fact whether or not animals have emotional feeling.
Yeah, do animals have souls? And
Like,
I believe they do. But that is a personal thing.
Yeah.
Everybody, either, you've either thought about it or you haven't. My cat has a soul, and he's got a terrible attitude.
and my cat's just
He's mean.
so awful.
But I digress. Okja. So the company that genetically engineered these pigs, after 10 years, sends Jake Gyllenhaal, who is like this animal expert.
William something.
It's Dr. Johnny.
Dr. John.
Not even close to
Not
William.
even close to it. Sorry. I've been up since 5 o'clock today.
And we watched it a few days ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't take notes.
I took very limited notes.
And he has to, kind of check them out, make sure they're healthy, yada, yada, yada.
Weigh them. They have this tag in their ear that they like put in a computer and it tells their growth stats.
Yeah, it's basically like a little USB.
Yeah.
And so the biggest pig is supposed to be taken to New York to be in this parade and to
all the super pigs get taken away
right.
because they're going to slaughter.
Yes. Those little piggies went to market
And never came home.
No.
Well, but and Mija, who raised Okja,
The little Korean girl who I don't even want to try and butcher
Her real
actress's name. So I am sorry.
first of all, she was amazing.
Yeah,
She
she's
was
really good.
so good. Like, I think she had a total like.
She didn't talk a lot, but she conveyed so
I
much.
think she had like 350 lines in the whole film.
She conveyed so much emotion that I'm super impressed.
And she was under the assumption that her grandfather, who she lives with because both her parents are dead,
It happens.
had purchased the pig. So the pig didn't have to go anywhere. And then they show up and just take the pig.
They take Okja, and this girl is not having it.
She literally...
And she's 14. She's had Okja since she was 4.
And her parents have been dead for that time. So,
Right.
like, it's...
It's only been her grandfather, and Okja.
And she literally puts on a fanny pack, shoves a whole bunch of coins in it, and a solid gold pig, like totem, essentially, in this fanny pack, and runs to Seoul.
Mm-hmm. In the middle of the night. Just literally run.
After Okja.
She is after her... As a girl wants her pig back.
She just wants her friend back.
Right.
And...
She breaks into the...
headquarters in Seoul.
Right, which is so fantastic, of this company that technically owns these pigs.
It's hilarious. There's like, for a movie that's so bent on making you feel something, because it is. It's making you feel things. They throw these bits of comic relief.
You need them, just
where
like real
you
life.
don't even think it's going to happen. Like
the Animal Liberation Foundation.
the ALF.
ALF. Which is headed by Paul Dano in a freaking spectacular performance.
He's really good.
Lily Collins is in it, and she is wonderful as well. Stephen Yeun. Oh, did I say that right? Yeun? Korean names. I butcher names. That's what I do. He is in it too. if you don't know who he is, he's Glenn from
The Walking Dead.
Well, I don't. I love all of them, but Paul Dano is kind of like the indie movie darling, and he's always fantastic. He's just always wonderful.
It's just
and sometimes
so good.
they cast him in a role that is like non-emotional, and it was really nice to see him be this sweet guy.
It's all about
who
like
wanted to do good.
Yeah, Alf, the ALF, is like 40 years old. He tells you like 8 times.
Yeah.
It's 40 years old. It's a non-violent animal rights group where they just break in and steal the animals and release them into the wild.
And so that is what they try and do with Okja.
And the issue is, Misha is like,
she's trying to get her pig back at the same time.
Back.
And she doesn't speak necessarily their language because they're all American.
And so Glenn from Walking Dead lies and says that she gave them permission to take Okja to New York, and she didn't. She just wanted to take Okja back to the mountains.
And like put a secret camera on Okja so they could see what was happening in like the labs.
So that they could expose the corporation. Awful things.
They were really trying to do good. Probably not, I mean, obviously not in the best way, because that's the way these
awful things.
Fringe groups work. They don't have funding. They don't have, you know, really leaders that are like put in place because they've got experience. It's not like you can put animal liberation on your resume. I mean, you could, but that would be weird.
I mean, depends on where you're applying. Anyways. But, like, so we follow this through the movie. The corporation gets word that Misha is refusing to stop attacking their convoy.
She wants her
pig. Wants her pig. And so they lie to her and are like, hey,
we'll send you to New York.
We'll send you to New York so you can see Okja, and then we'll send you home with Okja.
Right.
Even though they're planning to slaughter Okja. And so we get to New York, and the leader of the ALF realizes that Glenn has lied, because he admits it, after these horrible things are done to Okja.
Basically, Jake Gyllenhaal sets up Okja for date rape.
And then steals part of her.
People have to taste test her. And so they take plugs. I think that's what they're called.
It's called plugs.
Yeah, they take plugs of her flesh
in like
while
7
she's alive.
Different spaces.
It's awful, and
then
it's
they drug
disgusting,
her up.
and
it's sad.
It's so sad because this is how we treat livestock.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is that like everything, like they're walking you through the lab into the room there where they're keeping Okja, and there's just cage upon cage of like rejected super pigs. One's legs aren't working, one has 4 heads, one has no eyeballs, because they're not naturally occurring.
Right, and this company is all about non-GMO and natural ways of feeding people and making sure there's no more world hunger and blah blah blah. But they're totally lying to everybody. They're manufacturing animals in the most disgusting ways and lying, and people are blind to, and they believe it because that's what you do. So
everything cumulates. Cumulates? Is that the right word?
Culminates?
Culminates, sorry. At the end of the parade, when Misha finally gets to see Okja, but Okja is so drugged up
she doesn't
even recognize her.
And it's so sad.
And then, like, Okja basically tries to bite Misha's arm off, but doesn't clamp down because she remembers.
It was like she had just a flash of a memory, and then just kind of cradled her little girl, and it was really sweet.
And then they, like, the corporation swoops in and steals Okja and takes her to the slaughterhouse where all the other super pigs are.
Just
hundreds.
No. Like, football fields full of these
super pigs.
And they're just gonna slaughter them. It's time to get them on the shelves.
Yeah.
People want them. They want to eat it.
And she like
the sounds. And I know that part of it is
all for
I know it's fake. I know that these animals are not real. But I am not that stupid. I also know that these are the same kind of sounds and sights that you see at slaughterhouses all over the country. And I know that slaughterhouses here now are so much more humane.
Because of Temple Grey.
And they are, they really take into account the fact that these are living beings.
Yeah, like,
it's still hard to watch.
It's so difficult because you see this 14-year-old girl just barrel through this slaughterhouse.
She just does not.
She does not care.
Crap.
Her eyes nearly falling out of her head because she's run into so many things.
Yo, she's beat up.
She's beat to heck and back. And
to where?
Heck. I almost said it.
To hell. Michigan.
Yeah. And she just literally comes to like the main part where they like load them in to where they shoot them in the head, and it's like
with the bolt gun.
With the bolt gun, because that's how they do cattle too.
Why do we know these things?
Because we're sick human beings that just like to Google stuff. And it's just like no, and
she's like, nah, not my pig.
And
Tilda Swinton and Giancarlo Esposito
walk in and are like, sorry, it's business.
And she's like, I got this
gold pig.
You want my gold pig?
And she literally
like,
just slides it across the floor.
Into a puddle of blood.
What's the guy's name?
Giancarlo Esposito.
That guy picks it up, wipes it off with a hanky, and hands it to Tilda Swinton, who does this. Like, solid gold. And she goes, that's your pig.
And so she gets to walk out
with Okja. But as they're walking out, they're walking through.
It hurts.
It hurts. They're walking through the main line down all the middle of the football fields.
They are getting escorted out by security
and
New York City cops.
All these
super pigs
are just staring
and wailing. They're yelling. Because they know they're gonna die.
And so much so that this one mom and dad super big. The fences are electric, like
the one steps on like if it were like a boxing ring, they step on one of the ropes and they push their little baby out.
And Okja put it in its mouth so they can take it home.
They fly back to South Korea. Okja's got a baby in her mouth.
What? And then once the baby gets in Okja's mouth, all the super pigs
they're all like
howl together and then stop.
Doing it.
No.
Yeah, doing it.
And then as soon as it gets in their mouth, they stop.
And they just have resigned themselves to the fact that they are going to die. They know they're going to die.
So then we fast forward 4 months later, and we're in the mountains of South Korea again, and you see Okja jumping off a waterfall.
And teaching the baby.
How to play in water.
Right, and to live.
And Misha's just laying.
Taking a nap.
What? It's awful.
It's fantastic, though, too, because it kind of makes you take a second and go, okay, how can I be a better human? How can I be better to my earth, to my home? We all have this carbon footprint or whatever you want to call it. Everybody's
calling it something different.
Right. There's, your climate deniers and, all those people
whatever.
Too. It's not about any of that. It's just about being a better human.
Yeah.
Being good to your fellow man. Being good to animals. Not polluting. Realizing that you can make small steps.
The basic thing,
and live a better life.
Yeah. It takes one little thing. First of all, it takes 21 days to break a habit. So, if you're a cigarette smoker, instead of flicking your cigarette out the window, just tap it out and put it in the ashtray.
If your car has an ashtray.
If not, tap it out and put it in a pop can or something.
No, you have a very valid point.
Yeah, little things. It's the little things that add up over time. And if everybody, or even just a handful of people in your area, take a moment to think about that, it could change so much.
It really is a reflection of corporate greed.
So much corporate greed.
The lies that we are fed as
consumers,
and we believe them blindly. We're like, oh, okay. General Mills. I don't. Crap. I said a company. Now we're never going to get monetized.
We're getting sued.
I'm just using it as an example. General Mills isn't going to lie to me. You know, I believe what they say.
They've been around forever.
I do get all the nutrients that are on the box of my Captain Crunch. You know,
she loves Captain Crunch.
I don't even care about nutrients. It's delicious.
It's so gross.
Oh, I love it. But you know what I'm saying? That's so, you know, no one's going to look at the back of their macaroni and cheese and be like, oh no.
83 grams of sodium per serving, or whatever it is.
They literally could just have a commercial come out and be like, macaroni and cheese is good for you. It'll make your hair grow long and you'll be strong. Shut up, I'm Anthony Scaramucci.
This is so great.
Yeah, and people would be like, oh my god,
I
need to get that blue box of macaroni and cheese. I didn't say the company. I gotta eat that. I gotta eat that mac and cheese. My hair will grow so long and I will be strong. Because we blindly believe. We believe people who have more money than us, that have more pull than us. We absolutely blindly believe without ever questioning and thinking for ourselves. And that is hard. That is a hard lesson to learn while watching a movie. It's like, oh wait, I should be questioning everything.
Well, and this wasn't the first movie that ever made me think like that.
No, but this one was very, very obvious. Well, it was like, hey, pay attention.
I feel like if you're going to watch Okja, there's another movie you should watch because it revolutionized, the way that we in America produce our meats, and it's a movie called Temple Grandin.
And it's a true story.
And she's a real person.
It was an HBO
exclusive
miniseries.
Yeah, it's great. It's on HBO right now.
Claire Danes is in it.
It's amazing. And this woman with autism revolutionizes
the way we slaughter cattle. In a humane way and
she makes
sustainable way.
And when that came out, it came out like 7 years ago.
I don't know.
A good while ago. And it was the first movie that I'd ever seen that I was like,
wait a second.
Hold on. And it's not just the science behind it, like the way that we slaughter cows now is somebody's literally touching them as they're killed because it doesn't make the meat go sour, but it's because that they need the reassurance that they're going to be okay.
And yeah, they're dying, but they have that last interaction with another being.
The little bit of humanity that they can have.
Yeah.
It's a movie, both these movies, but Okja really just sat with me.
It was hard to kind of digest, and I wasn't trying to make a food joke, but but it was hard. It was hard to watch, but it was really good. And do you happen to have the name of the man who made this movie, the director?
Sorry.
Okay, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm gonna totally kill this thing, Bong Joon-ho. I'm almost positive that's who it is. Who also made Snowpiercer. He makes movies that are culturally relevant and makes them in a way that are digestible, but also kind of makes you think.
Yeah, it's a movie that's going to sit with you, but it's a movie I think everybody should watch.
And it may not sit with everybody. It may not. Some people may simply watch it as entertainment. Some people don't like subtitles. So
my husband.
Some of it is going to be difficult to watch because it is in Korean part of the time. But it's fantastic. I thought it was fantastic.
I would watch it again. I would own it.
I don't know. Oh, God, I don't even have like runtime or anything like that.
It was an hour and 53 minutes.
Thank God you have the information.
Jesse paid attention to that. I did not. It's beautiful to watch. Watch it.
Colors
it's on
are
Netflix.
Stunning. Yeah, you're already on Netflix.
Just watch it.
You know,
I keep pointing this way because that's the way our TV is.
Like back there.
Like that way.
Yeah, I think overall I would give it 8.5 out of 10.
I was gonna go like 9 out of 10.
I only went with 8.5 because of the animal rape scene.
It was really hard. It was really, really hard. I just can't. And on that note,
yeah. On that note,
Brittany,
Mackenzie,
subscribe, like,
comment.
Let us know what you think,
or tell us a movie we should watch.
Yes, please.
I'm open to suggestions.
Share
and all that stuff.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Bye.